The stars were cold and quiet. Space stretched out like a dark ocean, empty and deep. Far from Earth, near the edge of human space, a single ship floated alone. It was the USS Liberty I, a small but fast warship. It had been on patrol for weeks, watching the border, making sure nothing came through uninvited. Its crew was tired but used to it. They had seen nothing but stars and silence for a long time. Captain Daniel Reeves stood on the bridge, looking at the view screen. He was not a big man, but he carried himself like one who had seen war. His eyes were sharp, always watching, always thinking. "Anything?" he asked. "Nothing, sir," said Evan Porter, the comms officer. "Quiet as usual." "Too quiet," replied Reeves. He didn't like it. Peace felt wrong out here. Too many. Rumors had been flying between colonies, whispers of an alien fleet gathering beyond known space. Most people ignored them. Humans had only just begun to reach into the stars. Who would attack them? Then the sensors blared. "Contact!" shouted the tactical officer. Massive fleet drop off the port bow. Everyone turned. The screen lit up with red dots. Thousands. No, tens of thousands. "That's not possible," Evan whispered. "Make that 100,000, the tactical officer said, voice shaking. Silence fell over the bridge. They were staring at an armada. Ships of all shapes and sizes glowing, with energy, forming up in perfect lines. This was not a scouting force. This was a full-scale invasion. "Message coming in," Evan said. "Play it," Reeves ordered. A harsh voice filled the room. Broken English, but clear enough. "This is the Xeran Accord. You are outnumbered. Surrender now, or be erased." The crew looked at their captain. They expected orders to retreat, to run. But Daniel Reeves did not move. His jaw tightened. His eyes narrowed. Then he spoke, calm and cold. "No." Evan blinked. "Sir?" "Send a message back," Reeves said. "To Earth." The others watched him. They knew what this meant. They were going to fight. Alone, outnumbered, and probably die. But none of them left their stations, because they were humans, and they did not back down, not even when the whole galaxy turned against them. The message was ready. Captain Reeves stood in front of the camera, calm and still. Behind him, the red lights of battle stations flashed. The USS Liberty was preparing for war. "This is Captain Daniel Reeves," he said, "commanding officer of the USS Liberty. If you're hearing this, we didn't make it. But we fought, and we did not run." He paused. His voice stayed steady. "Earth, they came with over 100,000 ships. They told us to surrender. We said no. Tell our people. We were not afraid." The screen went dark as the recording ended. Evan Porter looked at the file. Sending. It would not be easy. The aliens had already begun jamming human signals. "Can we get it out?" Reeves asked. "Maybe," Evan said, "but only if I boost the signal through the main antenna and bounce it off that old relay station near Europa." "Do it," Reeves said. Meanwhile, Chief Engineer Lena Cruz worked fast in the engine room. Sweat ran down her face as she rewired power lines. The Liberty was old, built for speed, not war. She muttered to herself, "Come on, baby, hold together." Her hands moved quickly. She rerouted extra power to the shields and weapons. She even found a way to push the engines beyond their limits. "If we survive this," she said, "I'm going to need a month-long vacation." On the bridge, the alien fleet grew larger on the screen. They were forming up, waiting. "They think we'll panic," Reeves said. "They think we'll beg." "Should we surprise them?" Evan asked. "Yes," Reeves said. "Send them a reply." Evan typed in a short message and sent it across all channels. The aliens received it. Their commander read it aloud. His eyes narrowed. It said, "No." For a moment there was silence on their side. Then shouts filled their bridge. The humans had refused again. Word spread fast among the alien ships. Some laughed. Others felt uneasy. They expected fear, not defiance. Back on the Liberty, The crew waited. Weapons were loaded. Shields were up. They knew they might die. But none of them left their posts, because they were humans, and when the time came, they did not back down. The first shot lit up the dark like lightning. It came from the alien flagship, a massive ship shaped like a claw. The beam struck the USS Liberty's shields. The whole ship shook. Shields at 90%, called Tactical Officer Maria Ellis. "They're not even trying yet," Captain Reeves said. He stood tall on the bridge, eyes locked on the screen. The enemy ships were closing in, moving like a swarm. "Evan," Reeves said, "did we get that message out?" Evan Porter checked his console. "Yes, sir. Bounced off the relay. Should reach Earth soon." "Good," Reeves said. "Now let's make sure they remember why." The Liberty fired back. Twin beams from its forward plasma cannons tore through space and hit a small alien frigate. It exploded in a flash of fire and light. "Got one," Maria shouted, but more took its place. Hundreds of alien ships moved into attack positions. "They're surrounding us," Maria said. "Let them," Reeves said. "We're not running." Then the enemy launched missiles, dozens of them glowing red as they flew. "Incoming," Evan yelled. "Evasive maneuvers," Reeves ordered. The Liberty twisted and turned like a snake. Engines roared, alarms screamed, flares burst from the hull to confuse the missiles. Some hit close. One struck the aft shield. "Shields down to 70%, Maria said. "We can't take much more of this," Evan said. "We don't have to," Reeves said. "Just long enough to make a point." In engineering, Lena Cruz was sweating hard. Sparks flew around her as she rerouted power to weapons. "Come on, baby," she muttered. "Give me everything you've got." She flipped a switch. The Liberty's railgun charged up. "Weapons ready," Maria called. "Fire," Reeves said. The railgun fired. A metal slug the size of a car shot forward at incredible speed. It smashed through an alien destroyer like paper. Direct hit. Cheers broke. Out across the bridge. Outside, the battle raged. The Liberty was still alone. But now, for the first time, the aliens realized something strange. This human ship wasn't just fighting. It was winning. Not by much. Not for long. But it was winning. And that scared them more than anything else. Because if one human ship could do this, what would happen when the rest of humanity came for revenge? The battle had only just begun, but the USS Liberty was already becoming a ghost in the dark. It moved fast, striking from the edges of the alien fleet, then vanishing before they could hit back. One moment it was gone, the next it was behind enemy lines firing hard and disappearing again. Captain Reeves didn't fight like other commanders. He didn't line up and trade shots. He used space itself, asteroid fields, dead zones, even the wreckage of past battles to hide and strike. "They're losing ships faster than they expected," Evan Porter said, watching enemy comms chatter. "Good," Reeves said. "Let them panic." On the alien flagship, confusion spread. Their sensors couldn't track the Liberty long enough to lock on. Every time they thought they had her, she was gone. "This is impossible," one commander growled. "One ship cannot do this," but it was doing it. In engineering, Lena Cruz kept pushing the ship harder. She rerouted power, bypassed broken circuits, and even jury-rigged the shield system using parts from old storage pods. "Baby, you are holding together like a champ," she whispered. Her hands were burned, her arms scraped, but she didn't stop. On the bridge, Maria Ellis tracked enemy movements. "They're changing formation," she said, trying to close the gaps. "Then we punch through," Reeves said. He gave the order. The Liberty dove straight into the heart of the fleet. Alarms blared. Weapons fired from every side. Beams of energy lit up space like lightning. "Shields at 30%, Evan shouted. "Hold tight," Reeves said. The Liberty fired everything it had. Railgun rounds tore through hulls. Plasma beams melted armor. Missiles found soft spots and exploded. Ships fell, one by one, dozens of them. And then something strange happened. Some alien ships started pulling back. Not all, but some. Whispers spread across the enemy comms. Fear. Doubt. Questions. What if this is not just a ship? One alien asked. What if this is a weapon? Or a monster? Another replied. Or a god of war? Back on the Liberty, Evan picked up the chatter. He read it out loud, half laughing. They think we're some kind of myth. Reeves smiled. Let them believe it. Because if fear made them hesitate, that was one more second the Liberty could live and fight and win. Just a little longer. The USS Liberty was bleeding. Smoke filled parts of the ship. Lights flickered. Alarms never stopped. But still, she flew. Captain Reeves stood on the bridge, bruised and tired but still standing. Shields are gone, Maria Ellis said. Armors, down to 60%. Then we fight with what's left, Reeves said. He looked at the screen. The alien fleet was still massive. But now, it was scared. Some ships had already turned away. Some aliens had begun to question the war. They had been told humans were weak, easy to break, easy to rule. But this one ship, this one crew, had just taken down hundreds of their best. Evan Porter sat at his post listening to enemy comms. They're arguing, he said. Some want to keep fighting. Others want to stop. Good, Reeves said. Let them turn on each other. Just then, a new signal came in, not from the aliens, from home. Earth? Evan asked. He played the message. This is General Hawkins of United Earth Command. All colonies are on alert. We are mobilizing every ship, every soldier, every fighter. Humanity stands together now. Silence fell over the bridge. For the first time, Reeves smiled, not because they were saved, because they were no longer alone. Back in engineering, Lena Cruz worked like a machine. Sparks flew as she rewired power lines. Sweat ran down her face. Baby, I know you're hurting, she whispered to the ship. But we need just a little more. She connected the last wire. The engines roared louder. I give you full power, she called. For 5 minutes, maybe 10. That's all we'll need, Reeves said. He turned to his crew. We've done enough, he said. Now it's time to end this. He pointed at the alien flagship. Bigger than any other ship, the heart of the invasion. Take us in, he ordered. The Liberty dove straight into the enemy fleet. Beams of fire shot past. Explosions rocked the hull. Warning lights flashed red. And still, the Liberty flew. Weapons ready, Maria shouted. Fire, everything we've got. Plasma beams, railgun rounds, missiles. The Liberty unleashed hell. The flagship exploded in a flash of white light. The fleet began to fall apart. Aliens broke formation. Some fled, some surrendered. The war was over, and all of it done by one ship and one crew who refused to say yes. The battle was over. The alien fleet was broken. Some ships had fled. Others surrendered. The once mighty Xiran armada was now little more than drifting wreckage and scattered fear. On the USS Liberty, silence filled the halls. The ship was still flying, barely. Smoke rose from broken panels. Lights flickered. The crew was exhausted, wounded, but alive. Captain Daniel Reeves sat in his chair, blood on his face, eyes tired but sharp. He looked at the screen. What used to be an enemy fleet was now a graveyard of war. Evan Porter sat at comms. He listened as messages came in from Earth. They're calling us heroes, he said. Videos of the fight are everywhere. People are cheering. Let them cheer, Reeves said. We're not done yet. In engineering, Lena Cruz leaned against a console, catching her breath. Her hands were burned, her arms sore, but she had kept the ship alive when it should have died. Baby, she whispered to the ship, you did good. Outside, human reinforcements arrived. Sleek new warships, fast and deadly. They formed up around the Liberty, not just as soldiers, but as protectors of something new. Humans were no longer seen as weak, no longer seen as easy prey. They had fought when all hope was gone, and they had won. Soon, peace talks began, not with all aliens, but with some. The Xiran Accord was fractured. Some species wanted revenge. Others saw the truth. They had picked a fight with the wrong species. Weeks passed. The Liberty was pulled into orbit around Earth for repairs. Crowds gathered to see her. Children pointed at the sky. Old soldiers saluted. Her name was known by every man, woman, and child. But the war had changed more than just humans. On alien worlds, young leaders watched the footage. They saw one ship stand alone. They saw courage. They saw fear turned into fire. Some of them began to speak differently, not of conquest, but of peace. Humanity had entered the stars not with fear, but with strength. And now the galaxy knew. They could not be pushed around. They would not back down. And if anyone tried again, they would send another Liberty, another Ghost, another legend, because one ship had proven something simple, something powerful. Humans do not quit. They do not run. They fight. And sometimes, they win. Years had passed. The USS Liberty was now a museum floating in orbit above Earth. Her hull was patched, her weapons silent, but her name still lived in every human heart. Captain Daniel Reeves walked through her halls once more. He was older now, his steps slower, but his eyes still held fire. Young cadets followed him, listening to every word. This ship, he said, was just one vessel. Old, small, not built for war. He touched the wall, metal still warm from the sun. But we fought anyway, a cadet asked. How did you do it? You were alone. Outnumbered. Reeves smiled. We didn't know we could lose. The cadet thought about that, then nodded. On Earth, the world had changed. Nations no longer fought each other. They worked together. Space colonies grew stronger. New ships were built. Bigger, faster, better. Humans were no longer seen as newcomers. They were seen as fighters, as legends. Even some aliens began to respect them. Trade started with species that once feared them. Peace talks moved forward. Not with all, but with many. And always, at the center of it all, was the story of the Liberty. In deep space, a new base stood guard at the edge of known space. Its command center had a single picture on the wall, the Liberty, flying alone against an army. On the bridge of a new warship, Captain Miranda Cole looked out at the stars. She was young, sharp, and ready. Ready for launch, a voice called. She looked at the symbol above her seat, the same emblem that had flown on the Liberty. She smiled. Let them come. Because the galaxy had learned something important, that when humans say no, they mean it. And they fight. To the end. And sometimes just one ship, one crew, one voice saying no, can change the fate of a whole species. That was the legacy of the USS Liberty. Not just a ship, not just a battle, but a warning. Don't mess with humans, because if you do, someone will say no, and someone will fight, and maybe, just maybe, they will win.